always requires death and the spilling of blood. I'm not going to cut this lamb open. This is Chloe's lamb. I'm not going to do that. But the offerer of the sacrifice would come, hold the head or lay their hand on the head of the animal being sacrificed, be it a bullock or a bull or a cow or a goat or a sheep, kill the animal, blood would pour out. It was then the priest's job to grab that blood, and this is very significant, to slap it all around the joint, all over the altar. The animal would die, death would have come, blood's been shed, and the sacrifice has been made, or part of the sacrifice has been made. There are instructions, very clear instructions, on how the priest and the offerer would then cut open the animal, do certain things with the skin depending on what the sacrifice was for, pull out the kidneys, the fat around the kidneys, the long lobe of the liver and the fat around that, lay that on there for one of the sacrifices. Different animals had different roles that they would play as well. They would then just very casually pull out a Zippo or something. There would be a fire. All of the bits that were God commanded to be burned, he described as a pleasant smell to him. So what we think, oh, that's very gruesome. That's like you've killed a lamb, you've spread blood everywhere over the place. It wouldn't have been a clean joint. It would have been very, very messy. There would have been orange gone brown blood splattered everywhere. Careful, there could be hot and sharp things up here. And that smell, the smell of burning flesh, the smell of burning fat and stuff, parts of it on bacon are really nice, but the Jews, they wouldn't touch bacon, so we would find it absolutely disgusting. But God required that. That was the sacrifice. Now, there's something I read in the Bible last night. I thought, what is the blood of a lamb or a bull or something going to do? And I read in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 4, written right here, for it is impossible for the blood of bulls and goats to take away sins. Huh? You're doing all this, you light a fire, you kill the animal, you shed the blood, you risk burning the place down. None of that takes away sin. What takes away sin do we know in this modern age? Or who takes away sin? Jesus, that's right. Mr. Kennedy will teach us more about that this next week. What was the other things I wanted to just say? Yeah, so that sacrificed animal had no power to take away the sin. Even if it was the best looking lamb or the best looking bull you've ever seen, it did not take away the sin. It's a symbol. It points towards something future to come, which we know as Jesus. God's people back then just had to trust that God had it all planned, worked out for them. And God requires obedience. Even though we couldn't keep his law, back then we couldn't obey God perfectly all the time, but what they had to do when they didn't obey God was do this and make those offerings, make that sacrifice, and then in obedience God would forgive their sins through Jesus later on. So I hope that all makes a little bit of sense. I'll better pack this up before I go back and get distracted.